Hi guys, it's Matt here from Tradjana. Today we're going to be looking at our new Journal 2.0 feature we just released. Essentially, this is a new way of journaling your trades from a more visual standpoint, moving away from just doing traditional note-taking, which, to be honest, just disappears into the ether and probably not useful to you over time. So our perspective here is to try and turn your journal entries as much as we can into data points, which we can use to refine your trades over time and hopefully improve things. So to get things started, we will go over to a trade that we need to journal. So to start with, we would always import our trade first. So we support autosync for up to more than 100 prop firms, brokers and crypto exchanges at the moment, so that's one way of getting your trades in. CSV file is always available as well, so just export your data from whoever you trade with and just drag and drop straight in, and you can also just manually add them one by one. So 3 different ways to get your trade data in, up to you how you do it, but it all will end up here. So we've got our data in. This is just an example account, but we're now ready to start journaling our trade. So everything starts with a screenshot. So if we go over to Trading View, this is an example trade from a support and resistance strategy that I want to use. And simply, I'm just going to take a snapshot of that. So that's copied to clipboard, move back over to Tradjana, go back to the trade that we're working on, and we simply paste that in. And there you go. Our trade is now in the Journal 2.0. So this is a very basic support and resistance strategy that we're just using as an example here, just so that everyone's familiar with how to do things, and it should be familiar to everyone, this particular type of strategy. What you'll see is on the right hand side here, you've got various edge variables. These are essentially rules or confluences or whatever you want to track about your particular trading strategy over time on a scoring basis, and then see if any of those are more or less important for your particular trading style, particular strategy and instrument you trade. So not necessarily the trading rules themselves. We actually have those separately down here, which we've just got 3 down here for an example, but you can create 10 separate strategy rules. So for me, this is more the entry criteria. This is tracking data points, particularly on how a trade went well or badly. So this is your edge kind of refinement, really looking at what's important over time. All of these are customizable, so none of these are set in stone. These are all created by yourself in platform. You can add new ones here. You score them on a 1 to 10 basis. You can set whether positive is better or negative is better, because that might vary in your case. For me, just because of the way I like to think about things, I've got mine set to a positive bias, so that's how I set things up, but it's completely up to you how you set things up for yourself. Each of these can also be tagged directly into the chart themselves. Not necessarily what you have to do, but it might be just for your own clarity of thought, that you're proving to yourself what actually happened in the trades, so as you score them. And to help with that, you can separately assign different colors to these. So I will just get a green for this one, and so forth. Pink for this one. Great. So now we're ready to actually score our trade. So this was just a very simple support and resistance trade. And the first criteria I have here is support and resistance entry. So for me, this is just what was that a good entry at a support and resistance level. And yeah, for me, this is on the daily chart. We can see that price has bounced here a number of times. It looks like a key support zone. I have seen better. I would score this pretty high, but not the highest. So for me, it's about an 8. Next criteria I've got is whether the trade started to bounce at that level. And we can see before we entered here, we had a bit of an indecision candle, bit of a sweep of liquidity. So yeah, I think that's a clear indication of bouncing before we entered. So I would say that's a 9. Higher trend alignment, we could go back to trading view for that. coming down over time, a bit range bound, been essentially it's the daily chart, so we have been coming down. So yeah, we were going against the grain here a little bit, so we were not massively aligned with that. So let's put that, I would say that's middling for me. And so forth. You can go through all your criteria here and score as you see fit your own trades. The next thing you can see is that you've got these white kind of icons that are appearing. So this is essentially your average for each of those. And this is just a demo account, demo data. There's not a whole lot of data at the moment, but as the data starts to accumulate, you'll see these start to move. So in real time, you'll be able to see which of these edge variables and edge factors are actually the most important for your trade. So that if you're taking a particular winning trade or losing trade, you'll start to see outliers in your data immediately, and that can help you avoid those in the future, or perhaps it's revealing something about your strategy that you can really hone into. Next, we have the ability to actually tag on the chart. Now, this isn't mandatory at all. It's up to you, but the option's there if you want. So we could say, for example, touch number. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to go, yeah, there was a touch here, 5. We might want to also look at our entry. We would tag this here, and so forth. So it's up to you. High time frame alignment. You might want to set this of, okay, we were coming down, so visually we'll have it here. It's all down to your train of thought, how you think about things, whether this helps you fill out these. It's just there to support you with that. But again, completely optional. You don't have to tag them all. It's a feature there if that's something that would help you score all of these. So once we've done all those, I'm just going to quickly click these through as if we'd just done them all, so you get an idea. We can then move on to the rest of the journal. So the next thing is we have our traditional strategy rules. We've only got 3 rules here in this example, but you can have up to 10. So we will just tick that those are all met. And then we have our emotional state to give the option to track that. We typically want to be trading from a neutral state, and that's what we did on this day. So let's tick that. And these data points also play into some of our risk metrics and other analytics within the wider aspects of Tradjana, but that's more than what we're going to go through today. But everything you track essentially feeds back into a data point in some shape or form, which will give you some insight as to what's working well in your trading and what could potentially be improved. Then we do give you an option to do more traditional journal type notes. It's completely up to you what you write here, if anything. For us, we would always encourage people to create data-driven analytics and notes. So really, rather than writing lots of notes here, we would encourage you to turn them into data points in terms of your edge variables, strategy rules, and so forth. But if you need to, and sometimes a few notes definitely can help you with clarity of thought on how a session went. And then at the bottom, we just have our new section, which we're calling Journalytics. So these are just key insights just to start tracking exactly how some of these edge variables are affecting your trades and the outcomes of your trade data. So for example, on a win-loss basis, we could start to look at some of these rules. So whether liquidity was swept, and then we can look at things like propensity curves, threshold ladder, and various other things to track how important various scores that we've achieved in this add up to wins or losses in terms of our trades. So you're getting that feedback over time in terms of what's important for your particular trading and what's not. And that's about it. So yeah, more features to share with you soon. This is just an example. Quick demo today of the Journal 2.0 that we've built. Any questions, leave it in the comment below and we'll go back to you. Thanks a lot.